Walsh and Roger Norgel here. It's Friday, December the 15th, a beautiful day. Yesterday it was in the low 50s, today again the same thing. So changing up the way we're using the hay feeders, a little discussion about our guardian dogs, a few issues we've had with them, and the diet, how we feed them, and get to take a look at the ewes and look at their baby bumps, or at least we hope they're baby bumps. And we have an update on the number 11 ewe. She's doing much better. She's actually walking quite a bit. She still lays down, still a little bit weak, but such an improvement since Tuesday when I was out here. So we'll get started. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button, that helps our channel. Ring the notification bell for any new videos that we put out. And if you would, please share this video with a friend and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Not much work on the house this week. It's up there. They've got all the windows installed that were delivered. I just got a message from the general contractor. They're going to deliver the rest of the windows on the 19th to the 20th, or 19th. And then the framers will be back to install those, finish up framing, and then they'll get started on mechanicals after that. And also they are going to finish the barn office with the paneling in there so that we can get that finished. So things are shaping up. Friday, December the 15th, our ewe has done much better. Since Tuesday she started to show some improvement, and so now it's the 15th. She can actually stand for some time. Earlier in the week she would just stand up, move a few steps, and then fall, but I got her up and then put some hay in there, and she's actually standing and eating. Got her hind end braced against the gate, but she's definitely showing more strength and moving around. So when she pivots, then she kind of loses her strength and lays down, but it's definite improvement. So continuing with her steroid medication. She's got another 3 days of that, including today. So very pleased. I'm cautiously optimistic with her. I got here today and there was another IDF ewe in here with her. This gate was leaned over and I didn't have it wired too well. I had baling twine and didn't have it secured bottom and top. So got that squared away, and one of the dorpers yesterday had jumped through the top board, between the top board and the second board. So that tells me it's too wide, which I didn't know that when I built it. So I have to go through and raise the second board probably about 2 to 4 inches. I don't want the gap too wide between the second and the third board down, because then the babies can jump through. But I think if I just go up 2 inches, that'll fix the problem, and shouldn't have a problem with the babies jumping through. So like I said, cautiously optimistic. She's eating well, getting up and moving around the pen a bit, which the more she does that, that's going to build the strength back in her legs. And whatever it was, I'm sure it was a spinal cord injury, don't know the cause, but whatever it is, the inflammation and swelling is going down. And as that happens, her motor function in the rear quarters improve. Roger and I are traveling back to Indiana tomorrow for Christmas holiday with my family, and we'll be staying over and returning on Sunday night. So we'll have hay in the feeders for them, but I have observed them wasting a lot, so I have changed my process in adding hay to the feeder. When I filled them real high, they'd reach in and pull out, and they wasted a lot. So this is, I don't know how many days worth. This feeder was nearly full a week or so ago, but you can see the little holes in here where they reach in and then they burrow down and find what they like, and they can reach across and eat the hay from the center. So that's what they're doing over here. They don't waste it as much, and same with the goats. They're reaching in. You can see patches over there. She had her head in. There was a fairly big mound right there yesterday, and they've eaten that down. So this forces them to eat everything. They don't just go through and pick out the candy and leave the rest. So as they say, they have to eat their mashed potatoes and vegetables along with the candy. But it's working well. So I'll just top it off, maybe put, I don't know, 4 or 5 of those large slices in on top of that. Put it in the center so that they have to reach in to get it, and that way they won't waste as much. I'm out here at the second sheep feeder, and this was the first time we'd put hay in it, so you can see how they've consumed or eaten right down to the pallet, which is great. Very little spoilage. This is after I put the hay in. You can see it's mounted in the center. That way they reach in from the sides and they have to, pull it towards them, and so they'll waste a lot less. I really like these new lids. It gives greater stability to the feeder, and it's solid. Doesn't sag. It'll be good protection for rain and snow. This feeder over here, you can see that there is the bottom of it. There's probably maybe a foot of base. Some of that may be wet, but it's not a bad thing because that'll serve as a base, and the sheep will eat the hay that I put in on top of that. So that's actually a good thing. We're going to put a little hay in for them for over the weekend because, like I said, we're going to be gone for 2 days, but we're not going to overfill it. Getting ready to fill it, and I'll show you what we got when we're finished. The sheep are actually out. They are down there by the portable shade. Let me zoom in. See them down there. They're spending a lot of the time, this nice weather, out to pasture, and there may not be a lot of that for them to graze. They've got it picked over pretty good, but they'll glean a little bit, and the more of that they eat, the less hay they'll eat, and it's good vitamin and nutritional value for them. We had the hay tested. This hay is very high quality grass with a little bit of legume in it, but it's very fine and it falls apart easily. So we had it tested, and I think this particular batch tested about 11.5 to 12% protein. We've got some really good alfalfa hay. We'll add that probably, maybe the end of January. Mix it in with it because that's when the ewes and does need a little higher plane of nutrition because they're expecting their babies, and then we'll use the alfalfa for the babies once they're on creep. So that's our plan. It tested about 14.5% protein. We buy this hay from our neighbor. It's second cutting. Like I said, it's grass, and there's a little bit of alfalfa there. You can see the leaf. The 5 bales of alfalfa we harvested from our field last summer. And next spring, our plan is to harvest, this field over here too, all that goes around the barn. There's about, maybe about 5 acres. All that we can harvest. The more we harvest, the less we have to buy. And then we will turn that into pasture. We have to overseed that or interseed it next year with more grass mix. And so after we harvest second or possibly third, we got to do the seeding in August. So once we get that hay crop off, gets all the residue and plant mass off of it, then you have more open ground. Better for the no-till drill to go through there and seed it, and then it'll come up. So, filled the second feeder and got it mounted up in the center like the other feeder. There's enough dry on the top of that base that it's going to protect the hay we put in, so we'll just leave that there. So I'm going to close it up now and just flip that lid over and get it wired. As you can see, the ladies are coming in. It's probably 10:30, 11 o'clock. After opening the gate, they're coming in, and there's the automatic water. It's heated during the winter, so they have water 24/7, doesn't freeze unless the power goes out. But they've been out grazing, so they're thirsty. And here's Freckles. Hey, Frex. She always comes up out in the pasture or wherever. She comes up to us. She's the tamest of the Dorpers. She likes her chin scratched, and she got bred a little later, so I think she's starting to show a little bit. We hope. She hasn't come in season the second time. So there's John. He's still got the marking harness on, and I haven't seen anybody marked since probably 2 weeks ago. And he'll wear that till Monday. That'll be the end of the second cycle. We'll take that off. We're going to leave him in here with the ewes. If he breeds somebody, that's okay, but I think most of them are pregnant. And we don't want to chance another injury with him and the other rams. So the other 3 rams are going to stay in their pen. I will enlarge that just a bit so they have a little more space, but that's plenty of room for them for this winter. And then like this Dorper here, she's down there. I think they're starting to show a little bit of belly. Like I said, the Ile-de-France, it's harder to tell. I think they are, but we'll find out when we ultrasound. Right, Freckles? Want to have a baby? Yeah. Good girl. That's a good example there of why I mounted it in the center. You can see they reach in and they can reach the hay, and then when they come out, they sometimes chew outside, but they don't pull a big wad of it out and then it gets wasted on the ground. They can reach the hay, and that forces them to eat it. And they can't be quite as selective because as they run out of the choicer morsels, they'll have to eat some of the other hay as well, so they get the full use out of the hay. So I think this will work well. We're not going to pack it full again like we have in the past. They're using the second feeder as well, so everybody's got plenty of room. They also reach through the end of the goat feeder here, and they'll grab some out of there, which is fine. You can see the doe here. She's reaching in, and she's got her little hole there that she's found the good stuff for her. And that's what we want. They just start in an area, and then they clean it up, and then they work their way around. So this feeder's worked really well. They can get their head in and out, although Patches the other day, the hay was stacked pretty high on the end, and she put her head in and up, and she went to back out, and her horns got stuck. She let out this blood-curdling scream, but the interesting thing was Lily heard that. She was out in the pasture, and she came running all the way up from the pasture barking. She alerted to that distress call in the goats. So I continue to be amazed at the instincts of the livestock guardian dogs and their behavior as they interact with the goats and the sheep. I'm thinking these ewes are starting to look pregnant. That's one of the IDFs, number 14. She got bred very early on, and so I think she's got just a bit of a baby bump right there. We'll see. They pretty much have the same room and fill all day long because they graze all the time. They can eat whenever they want, so I think that's more than just a full belly. Here's, let's see, Patsy's out there, Pearl's right here. They were, and Shirley, she was the first ewe bred. It's hard to tell on Shirley. That's Patsy. She has the 4 horns and the 2 horns that curve forward. Let's see, her belly right there. From the side, how it curves down. They didn't do that before. Shirley from behind, you can see her sides are out behind her. So that's a pretty good indication. So time will tell. John must have swallowed something in the wrong pipe, but he's doing okay now. But I'm pleased with the way these feeders are working. Big enough hole they can stick their head in, and they'll pull a little out on the ground, but not terribly bad. And this hay is very fine, excellent quality. So when they find some like that ewe here in the corner, she just pulled out a big mouthful. It pulls apart very easily. So it's very nutritious and very appealing to them. It has a sweet smell to it. So you can just saw Shirley over there. She took a big mouthful. That's when you can tell you've got a good quality hay, because the sheep will take a big mouthful. They don't nibble through it and find the leaves. They just pull out a big mouthful and chew it up and swallow it. So just like that ewe right here in front of us did. She's just mowing the whole thing down. That's what you want to see. And like I said, I'm very pleased with the way this feeder's working. I think these ewes are starting to show that ewe right there, walking right there. She actually got bred twice. She got bred, I think, the first day, and I don't think she was truly in season. So she'll probably be one we ultrasound in the second group, because the rule of thumb for ultrasounding is you check them 45 to 60 days after you pull the rams out. So Billy, Goat, Joel, and the 3 old rams were pulled out. Oh, I forget the date now. But yeah, there you can see Pearl right there, and then there's Patsy. Or that's Pearl there, I'm sorry, right there. She's got a real distension down, so I'm pretty confident both of those are pregnant. I did see them get serviced, and they never did come in heat again, so pretty confident that they are with lamb. And you see Copper out there checking out Lily and Garrett, and sheep come up to Copper. They actually come up and solicit from the dogs. They have their nose and ears licked. They actually like it, and the dogs like to do that. And you can see that sheep is soliciting from Copper, but he doesn't know what that means. So he'll figure it out. But Chloe doesn't like the sheep coming up to her. She'll yip and nip at them. So, but Copper's figuring it out, and we want the guardian dogs to accept the family dogs, and they're doing a pretty good job so far. Yeah, there's number 24. She's the one that Garrett pulled her tail off, so we put a rubber band on it. It's healed very well. It's all just looks like it was meant to be that way. And John is one as well. I don't know if I can zoom in on it. He's right there beside that IDF. There. Garrett had pulled his tail as well, so you can see where the rubber band is. And it was all red and swollen before I put the band on, and once you put the band on, within 24 hours, all the swelling goes away. It's numbed in, there's no pain. The infection can't get in there, so it's been probably 3 or 4 weeks since we put that on. It will eventually drop off. I'm in no hurry to take it off, but he's doing well. So Garrett is, or not Garrett, Dylan's the one that did that. So he is going to stay with the goats. We just don't trust him with the sheep, and that's okay. He is wearing a training collar because he's been going after Heidi's tail as well. I don't see any skin damage, but he's pulling the hair off the tip, and we've got to catch him in the act and use the training collar to discourage him from that. I'm not sure what we'll do when the lambs and the kids arrive. I'm thinking we may fit both the male dogs. Lily's been fine with them. No signs of over exuberance or anything. My concern is that the 2 male dogs are that much younger and bigger. They might injure the lambs and kids. So initially, I think we're going to fit them with a basket muzzle. They'll be able to eat and drink, but they just can't bite or grab with it to be on the safe side, because the last thing we want is to them get the habit of attacking the lambs and the kids and injuring them. So time will tell. It's been a learning experience. I learned about the hay feeders, not to fill them all the way full. So the main thing is to be adaptable and observant, and be willing to try different things. And I'm pleased with the way the hay feeder's working now, because they're not wasting it. And like I said, if we're going to be gone for several days, we have a neighbor who checks in on them for us, but if we'll be gone several days, then I'd probably fill it up, and that would last them 4 or 5 days. But as long as I'm here to check them every couple days, this amount of hay here will last them 2 to 3 days. So I'm pleased with the way it's working. Getting ready to fill the dog feeder. We feed on premium quality dog food. I've always been a Purina fan. I've never had any issues with it. Some people will argue with that, but I've never had a problem, and I've had dogs my whole life, since 65 years or whatever. This is Purina Pro Plan Performance Sport 30-20, 30% protein, 20% fat, and it says for all ages. You can see that, and that means it will provide nutritional support for all stages of life, so from little puppies to geriatric dogs. Obviously, if there's a health problem, requires a special diet, that's not the case. But when we got these dogs, especially the 2 male puppies, they were about 4 months old, they had been fed just a generic, cheap adult dog food. It was not even for all ages, and they were thin, and their pasterns they were down in their pasterns. They weren't standing up on their toes, and just not good body condition, not much muscle covering. So we went to a higher quality, all ages, all life stages dog food, and within a matter of 2 or 3 weeks we could see a difference. Their coats improved, they filled out, they're straightened up in their pasterns, they were nice straight and standing up on their tippy toes. The reason I go to this in the wintertime, it has 30% protein, 20% fat, and in the cold weather the fat is what gives them the energy, because they obviously it requires more energy to be in cold weather. And we self-feed them, haven't had a problem with them overeating. I was concerned when I got them that we might, because I never did do that, but has not been a problem. They're raised as puppies on self-feed, and they actually they eat small amounts frequently. They don't gorge, which is actually healthier for them. They've maintained their body condition. Dylan's laying over here. Nice round muscles there on the hind legs, you can see. Nice shoulder there. Nice covering over the ribs, but he's not fat. He's healthy, and he's a big boy. They both are. They're well over. They'll be over 100 pounds. Lily's not as big. She's probably about a 75-pound dog. She's a 1.5 years old, and Garrett and Dylan will turn a year old the 28th of this month. So they're in the height of their juvenile stage. But they do well in the food. On a really cold day, if it's really cold or windy or something like that, I will actually pour or take some food out of the feeder and put it on the ground inside the feeding station. And they'll actually go in and consume that whole meal. So on really cold days, I think it's important for them to have that little extra so they don't have to go in and just nibble a little bit. And then as we transition back into summer, then we'll transition off the 30-20 and we'll just put them on a really high quality dog food that's lower in fat and a little lower in protein. So that's what we're doing. I just put some dog food out on the ground in there for Garrett, and you can see he's getting ready to go in the feeding station. Interesting fact about these dogs, when we got them, they would not eat food out of a dog bowl. You put it in there and they wouldn't eat it. So either put it on the ground or they will eat it out of the feeder. They actually prefer eating it off the ground. I think that's just the way they were raised, and it was just kind of interesting to us that we'd stick it out there in a bowl for them and they just look at it and wouldn't eat it. So he's wearing his drag chain, he and Dylan both, and their exuberance as juveniles. They like to chase the stock, so this keeps them from running and chasing them. And not sure how long they'll have to wear it, but he can get in there with that on. See, he's starting to go in there now. They just get down there and they crawl through. Stay on the ground and he's munching away. Sign of a happy, healthy sheep flock when the ewes are running and playing and having races. They've been doing that for about 3 or 4 minutes now, so really like to see that. Nice, happy, healthy sheep. Alrighty, please subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell for any future videos, and hit the like button. That helps our channel. And share this video with a friend, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you about your ideas or suggestions or comments. So please have a great weekend, and Christmas will be here, or the holidays. It's Hanukkah now. I think it's the end of Hanukkah, but the Christmas holiday is coming up here shortly. So everybody have a safe and happy holiday, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.